What's up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having an amazing day today. This video is probably going to be a pretty quick one. I just got home from physical therapy, so I was eating some jerky and scrolling Insider to see if there was anything interesting going on. And one particular headline caught me by surprise. It's for an article titled, "A JoJo's card game for kids was pulled after parents criticized inappropriate questions about kissing, being naked, twerking, and stealing." So I browsed it a little bit. I wanted to see, are people overreacting or is this a legit thing? And if so, how did this happen? How did these things get approved? So I figured, let's go ahead and go over the article together, see what's going on, and then have a bit of a conversation about it. Okay, so I have the article pulled up right here. It was posted on the 4th, so just a few days ago. And it says, popular children's entertainer JoJo's has a Nickelodeon-sponsored merchandise line, which includes a card game intended for kids aged 6 and up called JoJo's Juice, which, by that name, I have no idea what the game is about, but there's questions in it, apparently. Now, if you don't know who JoJo's is, she is a dancer. She's a social media personality. She is 17 years old, but she kind of got her start on Dance Mom. She's very talented, but obviously being on a reality show puts you in a bit more spotlight than I think most dancers typically get. So she's super well known. She wears these big bows, big, bright, loud clothes, and people kind of tend to criticize her because they say, oh, you're 17. Why are you still dressing like a kid? Why are you still dressing like this? And obviously, one, it's part of an insanely popular brand that got her a game called JoJo's Juice in the first place. But two, if she likes it and it makes her happy, we should just let her do her. Some people, this isn't even related to the article, but some people have said that if she continues to put on this persona, this bright, bubbly, giggly kind of, I'm trying to think of what a nice word for juvenile is, but she appeals to a younger audience and she puts on this persona, and people are saying, if that's a persona that you're putting on and that's who you're being forced to be, it could result in a pretty severe rebellious phase, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes in her life. I hope that she dresses like that and she acts the way that she acts because she genuinely likes it and she thinks it's fun to be an entertainer in that sort of fashion. So fingers crossed that's what it is. But back to the article. Parents have taken to social media to slam JoJo's Juice for asking players inappropriate questions about twerking, dating, being naked, stealing, and more. Some critics have even accused the game of grooming young players, a term used to describe a tactic employed by predators to manipulate their victims. Negative reviews for JoJo's Juice date back to 2018. In response to the backlash against the game, Nickelodeon and JoJo's Juice manufacturer Spin Master released a joint statement to Insider announcing the game would be pulled. A card game marketed to young fans of Nickelodeon star and tween influencer JoJo is receiving one-star reviews for what parents are calling inappropriate questions. The game, JoJo's Juice, is intended for audiences aged 6 and up, and until Monday was available for purchase online at Walmart and on Amazon, among other retailers, for around $20. Can you imagine being so famous that they literally make board games about you? That's wild. On Monday, following Insider's report on the controversy surrounding Siwa's game, Nickelodeon and JoJo's Juice manufacturer Spin Master released a joint statement to Insider announcing the game would be pulled. "We respect and value the relationship JoJo has with her fans and take the concerns raised regarding the game JoJo's Juice very seriously," the statement says. "This game is no longer being manufactured, and we have requested that retailers pull any remaining product from their shelves." Siwa also released a statement on TikTok clarifying that she wasn't aware of the contents of JoJo's Juice. It's so interesting to me that the negative reviews go back 2 years, 3 years now? Oh my gosh, we're in 2021. 3 years now, and they're only taking them off the shelves because it's getting a lot of attention. And also about JoJo not knowing what the contents were of the game. I'm inclined to believe that. I mean, they probably just said, hey, we're going to put this fun question and answer game out there. You want your picture on it? Here's how much money you'll get. And I'm assuming her manager was like, yep, let's go ahead and take that right quick. In theory, it sounds like a great idea because you don't have to do any work for that. They can probably use a headshot of you and put it on the box and it's good to go. You know, they'll make questions about your brand. You don't really have to do anything, so it's essentially free money. But there is a TikTok here. Let's see what she says.
Hey everyone, it's JoJo. So over the weekend, it has been brought to my attention by my fans and followers on TikTok that my name and my image have been used to promote this board game that has some really inappropriate content. Now, when companies make these games, they don't run every aspect by me, and so I had no idea of the types of questions that were on these playing cards. Now, when I first saw this, I was really upset at how gross these questions were, and so I brought it to Nickelodeon's attention immediately. And since then, they have been working to get this game stopped being made and also pulled from all shelves wherever it's being sold. I hope you all know that I would have never, ever approved or agreed to be associated with this game if I would have seen these cards before they started selling it. I love you all so much. Thank you for bringing this to my attention so that way I could put a stop to it and I could get it fixed immediately. I love you all so much and I hope you have an awesome 2021.
Okay, so that's sweet. I mean, that's a good response from a 17-year-old, but she made it sound like the game was made kind of without her permission. You know, she obviously said, like, if I had known these questions were in here, I wouldn't have approved them. But she said, it's been brought to my attention that there's a board game featuring me. So it's like, oh, I didn't even know this board game existed. So I looked it up and it looks like this Spin Master company has made several games and toys with JoJo's image on them, like bow makers, a dance game, stuff like that. And so she said she contacted Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon is shutting it down, which makes it seem like they had no association with it. But I'm thinking, okay, well, even if Nickelodeon approved these games, JoJo has to have a good enough manager and lawyer with all the money she makes to have gotten her in a situation where they wouldn't be able to use her image without compensating her at the very least. And so even if it wasn't her idea, even if she didn't like go in and say, yes, I love this game, let's make it, she was most likely profiting from sales of that game. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's where logic brings me. I don't know. If you have any insight onto situations like this where big companies can use the image of somebody without compensating them, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Moving on though, the controversy around JoJo's Juice started after mom and TikTok user Heather Watson pointed out in a viral video that has been seen more than 3 million times that the game contains material that seemingly should be advertised to older audiences.
If I was going to Photoshop those photos, I probably would have made my fingernails look a little better too. So, here we go. Turn the camera around so you can see. Here's the box, 6+, and the card. Have you ever walked in on someone naked or had someone walk in on you? Have you ever taken money from someone's purse or wallet without asking? Because we want to encourage that.
That's not bad.
Have you learned the art of twerking? JoJo has. Kissed a boy?
I mean, not that it's like not that stealing is okay, but I feel like that's an innocent enough question for a kid. Like, oh, have you ever taken something? Like that, obviously it's not great to encourage because it's wrong, but I could see little kids laughing about a question like that in a game. The naked one, though, that's concerning.
Who in this room would you most like to date? On the front of the box, a bunch of little girls playing that game, so like, yeah, that's a totally appropriate question, right? Have you ever been arrested? Most 6-year-olds have. Ever stolen from a store? But this one, though. Have you ever gone outside without underwear? A bathing suit doesn't count. And the box says 2018, it's by Nickelodeon, and it says Viacom International.
That's weird. Yeah, like the stealing ones, again, obviously we don't want to encourage that in children. The dating question seems a bit mature for a 6-year-old. You could say, like, who do you think is cute? I feel like that's, I don't know. I'm somebody who doesn't get really hung up on like little kids having crushes. I know that some people are very much like, nope, shut it down real quick, not happening, not about it. But like, I don't know, little kids think other little kids are cute. So if you have that question, that seems innocent enough. But the one about the bathing suits, or going outside naked without a bathing suit, walking in on somebody naked, those seem weird. The article goes on to say JoJo's Juice has category questions like who knows JoJo best, who knows me best, and truth or dare. Players write the answers to the questions on dry erase bows, but as Watson pointed out, mixed in with the innocent questions are ones like have you ever stolen from a store? And have you ever walked in on someone naked or had someone walk in on you? On TikTok, a comment with more than 43,000 likes says, "This is textbook grooming language. The National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children defines grooming as an older person using their relationship with a child to exploit, manipulate, and abuse them." More recently, media or artifacts that have entered pop culture, like the controversial 2020 French film Cuties, I did a video on that if you're interested, I will put it up here, have been lumped into a broader definition of grooming in which media that sexualizes children or exposes children to sexual behavior is considered harmful to audiences. The other JoJo's Juice cards Watson took issue with said, have you ever been arrested? Such a weird question to ask a child. Who in this room would you most like to date? Have you ever gone outside without underwear? Okay, yeah. The other one I wanted to talk about was learning the art of twerking. Now, I think we could have a really good conversation about the appropriateness of this question for 6 and up. My inherent viewpoint of children is not to view them in a sexual manner. So if I heard a little kid talking about twerking or I saw a little kid twerk, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're so silly. But I guess you could say it could be inappropriate depending on the intention of the child. If they're just like having fun, goofing around, trying to imitate other people that they've seen dancing that they think are cool, and they're just having fun with it, I can see it as pretty harmless. But if they are doing it because they've seen older people do it and they think that that's a way to get sexual attention, that's definitely a problem. And I guess it just kind of depends on your kid and having the conversation of where that is and isn't appropriate in order to protect your child. That question, I don't know. When I first heard it, I was like, that's a funny question, but I can see the more sinister side of it. The article then says Watson also posted pictures of the questions to Facebook, writing, "I think it belongs in the trash. This world is sick." The post has been shared more than 19,000 times. Watson isn't the only parent to express their distaste with the JoJo's Juice game. Reviews of the game dating back to 2018 when it was released on both Walmart and Amazon are overwhelmingly negative, with most buyers citing the age-inappropriate questions. Very inappropriate game for kids, rated for 3 and up, but I thought it said 6. Okay, so if you go up here, if you look really, really closely, you can see it says 6 and up, which it kind of bothers me that she wrote out 3, like she intentionally, this reviewer, put 3, because I feel like that's just done to exaggerate how bad it is. Some of these questions are inappropriate, whether you're asking a 6-year-old or a 3-year-old, so, you could have just said 6 and up, but anyway, rated for 3 and up, it asks questions about you being naked and everything else. Wouldn't recommend this game for any child of any age, says a 1-star Walmart review of the game from December 2018. Several of the reviews included pictures of the same cards Watson called out. A 1-star Amazon review of the game from December 2018 says, "My daughter received this for Christmas. It is inappropriate and grossly underage. My daughter loves her JoJo bows, but this game is going missing." That's one way to handle it. Say, "Oh, I don't know, babe. I don't know where your game went. You can't find it?" If you're a parent, let me know if you've ever done that. If you've ever had a toy that was just really annoying, or in this case, inappropriate for your kid, and instead of telling them they couldn't play with it anymore, you just hid it, and then double points if you helped them look. In any case, I do think it's a good thing that this game has been made unavailable and has been taken off the shelves, because some of these questions I can see as innocent and funny, but some of them are obviously inappropriate. And it's one of those things where they're not necessarily sexually explicit, like technically on their face, they're not, but when you consider who the game is targeted towards, kids don't understand who they should and shouldn't talk about being naked with. There's a more sinister layer of this that kids most likely are not going to be aware of, because if they live in healthy homes, they don't have to worry about being abused. They're kids. They don't have to think about the fact that you know, not everybody is my friend. They don't have to think about there are some adults out there who would like to hurt me. And so it's kind of like the thing that I've read a lot of parents talking about in terms of making sure their kids know boundaries but don't feel ashamed of their body. So it's like if your kid wants to be naked, that's totally fine. You can be naked, but you have to go into your room and shut the door. You know, you can't be naked out in front of everybody. You have to be in a private place. And so, you know, this game kind of bends those boundaries because it makes it seem like it's fun to talk about being naked. And maybe one of the kids gets an idea of, oh, you know, remember that question where it said, have you gone outside without your underwear? Let's do that. And that could lead to abuse happening or to more sinister things happening if they perceive conversations related to nakedness as something fun that they do with their friends. Because maybe there's an older person who becomes their friend and they talk about this with the friends their age so they can talk about it with this friend too, right? Like they just don't have that logical reasoning yet. They don't have that awareness yet in most cases to understand that there are certain things that we don't talk about with certain people and you have to be cautious. You know, it's one of those things where it sucks because like we just can't have nice things, you know? I would love if we lived in a world where everybody looked at kids as being 100% innocent and something to be protected and taken care of and loved, but we know that that's not the reality. We know that there are people out there who, if given the opportunity, would and have hurt kids. And so it's like, if you're a parent, if you're an aunt or an uncle, if you know somebody who has kids, like if you just care about children in general, we have to be aware of this stuff and we have to be on top of making sure we do what we can to protect kids because at this point, they can't protect themselves and somebody has to. You know, we got to protect them from people who would take advantage of or hurt them. And while I don't know if this was done with sinister intention, like I don't know what the thought process was of putting these questions in here, if it was intentionally for grooming purposes or if it was just something that slipped through the cracks. I have no idea. I would truly genuinely love to know because if you're making games for kids and you're doing it intentionally, you need to be fired. And if you're making games for kids and it was just something you didn't consider, you need to have maybe some awareness training of what's appropriate and not appropriate. I mean, I don't know, but I would like to know who okayed these questions, who created them, who put them in the game, and why anybody thought it was okay so that something like this doesn't happen again. But those are just my thoughts. I would love to know what you think about it. If you think that these questions are inappropriate, if you understand why parents are upset, or if you think they're just taking it too seriously, whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're doing that, if you consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you're subscribed already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you. And I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.